not playing very good football right now.
Prescott throws it in the end zone, incomplete.
Sure do it. It's going to be a long plane ride home,
Oh, boy.
How about the Cowboys?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into First Take on a Monday. Molly Karam Rose, Max Kellerman, and the birthday boy himself, all fired up.
Happy birthday.
Stephen A. Smith, happy birthday.
Thank you, Conley. Thank you, Conley. I just want to say this. My birthday's today,
Yeah.
but my present arrived yesterday.
Let's discuss it.
The football
So
guys are
after
good
missing a month of football with mono, Sam Darnold returned to game action, throwing 2 TDs and led his Jets to their first win of the season over Stephen A's Cowboys. Dak Prescott, who is still looking for a new contract, failed on a 2-point conversion late in the fourth quarter. The boys have now lost 3 straight games to the Saints without Drew Brees, to the Packers, and now the Jets. Let's hear from them on the loss.
We just got to go out there and play better football. We're not playing very good football right now, so, I mean, I guess every week just got to get back to work tomorrow, get in the film room, see what went wrong, see what went well, and learn on it and, get better.
To lose a game to a 0-4 football team, what does that do to the psyche of this locker room?
The psyche? I don't even know what that means.
What does it do to the confidence of this football team?
It don't change. Not at all. We know what the hell happened today. We beat ourselves just like last week. Now it's time to buckle down and, get things going.
Not only has Dak been under scrutiny recently, but also his head coach, Jerry Jones, had this to say about Jason Garrett's status. Quote, "I'm going to be very trite. I was a lot happier with what he had done the first 3 games than what's happened the last 3 games. But the big thing I want to say is it's not just him. This is across the board." Stephen A., how much trouble are the Cowboys in?
Well, they're in the world of trouble. Let's be very, very clear about that, Max Kellerman. They're in the world of trouble. Because when you look at the NFC, you see how this works. If you're 3-3 and you're a 500 team, chances are, if this trend continues, and we have no reason to believe that it won't, the reality is that the NFC East playoff participant is going to have to be the winner of the division. There's not a wild card that's going to come out of there. Not when you're looking at Chicago, Detroit, and Green Bay in the north. Not when you're looking at New Orleans and Carolina in the south. Not when you're looking at Seattle, San Fran, and to a lesser degree, those reigning NFC champion Los Angeles Rams that don't really look like champions right now. Nevertheless, you got an abundance of teams. On the news this morning. And one of their columnists, I believe, accurately pointed out a huge problem on the part of Jason Garrett, and he labeled it as arrogance. Okay,
that Tim Cowlishaw?
I believe it's
My guy, Tim Cowlishaw?
I believe it's Tim Cowlishaw, but I'm not sure if he was the one that wrote the, I'm not sure if he's the one that wrote the article. But here's the point that he was making: you've got second quarter, it's 4th and 2 at the 7-yard line with a little over 4 minutes left in the half. Jason Garrett, knowing you got 2 tackles out of the game, knowing that your running game ain't great, knowing that Amari Cooper and Randall Cobb are not available to you, and your offense wasn't looking as stout as we're accustomed to seeing it look, you kick the field goal right there, and you're all right. What happens? He says, no, can't do. I'm going to go for it on 4th and 2, and I'm going to call a quarterback sweep for Prescott. It fails. He gets swallowed. The very next play, Sam Darnold connects with Robbie Anderson for a 92-yard touchdown, and that double move by Randy Anderson on a woozy. And as a result, the Jets go up 14-3. As we look back on it, had they kicked the field goal at that particular moment in time, guess what? Would have been a different ball game because what did you need at the end? 2-point conversion. That's Jason Garrett. That's coaching. Once again, that's coaching, not stepping up to the plate and handling this business, which is why I have no problem with Jerry Jones taking that position. Dallas Cowboys in a world of trouble right now, and I can't say that I'm upset about it.
Dallas Cowboys are in some trouble, but fortunately for them, the NFC East is so bad that they could still make the playoffs. They're not going to do anything once they get there. Right. Maybe if it matches up a certain way, they can win a game. Maybe they can win 2 playoff games. They ain't winning the Super Bowl this year, even if everything falls their way.
Yeah.
I agree with Tim Cowlishaw's point. Was Tim Cowlishaw, and I want to address that for a second. He hears, Jason Garrett, the criticism from guys like me. No, from me, right? Coaches are such cowards in the NFL. It's unbelievable. They never go for it on 4th down, not nearly as much as they should because they're afraid about getting second-guessed. He hears, I've brought it up a million times, you have Ezekiel Elliott. You drafted him 4th overall. He's exceeded expectations. You're in midfield, and I mentioned this from last year, 1 yard. You're 4th and 1, and you punt. Right? That tells you everything I need to know about Jason Garrett. So here he is. He hears that kind of criticism. He's thinking, 4th and 2? I'm going to go for it, right? No, but it does depend on the circumstance. Here and there, you have to take it into consideration. I usually don't, and I'm not going to even kill him now. If you go for on 4th and 2, I usually like that. I'm not going to kill him now. But Tim Cowlishaw has a point. Pay attention to what's going on. Ezekiel Elliott just didn't do anything the last time he touched the ball. And the main thing is because your 2 tackles, your starting tackles who are all universe tackles, aren't there. And that's when you choose to be aggressive, right? When maybe you should think, let me take the points. Then you choose to be aggressive. The Cowboys are in some trouble in the sense that they should have a better record than they are right now and be more in control of their own destiny. They're not, mainly because of injury, but also because their head coach isn't good enough. And even when Jerry Jones talks about Dak, and we'll get into it later on, in the end, it's going to come down to a decision, head coach or quarterback. They've isolated every other variable. They have everything else they need. I do not believe he will choose the head coach. So not only are the Cowboys in trouble, but Jason Garrett in particular is in a world of trouble.
Jason Garrett will be gone at the end of this season, barring a miracle, meaning barring if they make the playoffs and make a run in the playoffs. Jason Garrett will be gone. He will not last. If this team is not successful this year, Jason Garrett won't be back as the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. That's number 1. Number 2, I think Dak Prescott, we'll have a conversation about him later. It will cost him some money. Number 3, I forgot who we was showing that video of the guy that, on Dallas, the defensive side of the ball, that said we beat ourselves. Well, isn't that what I always say? That black cat running around that franchise? Then how many times have I had to say to all of y'all's, just wait. And plummeting around Christmas. I don't like the fact that it's happening this early.
All right.
I'm very disappointed.
For me, this team's success will be defined by how they perform in the postseason. Like we mentioned, they're tied with the Eagles at 3-3. They face off on Sunday Night Football. The Giants are only 1 game out of first.
Don't do that, Molly.
I'm just pointing out facts. All facts.
Well, you're the one sitting there at the Dallas Cowboys, what they do in the playoffs. They might not make the playoffs.
Lamar Jackson has been on fire lately, but does he actually make the Ravens Super Bowl contenders? Stephen A., what else you got?
Got a lot more to come your way on First Take. Is it time to admit the Cleveland Browns made a mistake by choosing Baker Mayfield's boy, Freddie Kitchens? Plus, even though the Eagles were grounded in Minneapolis, I'll tell you why I'm not concerned about Carson Wentz. Also, I'll tell you why I'm saying Deshaun Watson is a better MVP candidate than Patrick Mahomes. That's right, I said it. All that and more coming up. First Take in the house. You know what time it is.